Lecture topic: Sacrificing for Ilm, Part 2.
Yesterday we discussed the saying of Abu Nasr, rahimahullah, the crux of which was that ilm cannot be acquired if a person is focused on comfort and is trying to all the time make things easy for himself in terms of trying to have a better life, and he wants to all the time be worried about how he can eat something better, how he can be enjoying better luxuries. And this is not the way ilm has been acquired. So if you look into the lives of those who have truly understood the value of ilm, and because they understood the value of ilm, what they were prepared to undertake for it, it is mind-boggling of how they dedicated themselves. Qari Siddiq Banwi Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi has written incidents in his kitab. One of them is that there was one student studying in Delhi. Now he was living in one room in a masjid. So probably he was given the opportunity to make the imamat or whatever. So it was just the room that was provided for him. There was no such thing as any salary or anything. He had to make his own arrangements for food. He was studying the whole day, so he had no other arrangements. So they used to give him just but 2 rotis for the day. But in that time now, there's 2 rotis for the whole day. And somebody else came around looking for some place to stay as well because he wanted to study. And this was the center of knowledge. But the same system that various ulama would be based in some masjid or the other, and they would conduct the dars. Whoever wanted to come would come. And they would have to make their own arrangements for everything else. So this next newcomer came, and he came to inquire, is there any place, any other masjid that might have a room as well that might be available? So the student says to him that I've been throughout the whole place, all the masajid, I've been already there, and everywhere there's already some student or the other, so there is no place. So then he didn't tell him, since there's no place, you'd rather go back. What he told him is, if you want, you can accompany me here. I get 2 rotis for the day, you can eat 1 and I'll eat 1. So that person agreed, and they continued with their studies, and he's getting 2 rotis for the day, he's eating 1 and he's sharing 1 with this person. Sometime later, one third person came along, also wanting to study, and he comes and inquires about the same thing. Is there any room you all available, away off anywhere? There's no such place now available. Every place has been taken up. But now, since you have also come to learn, if you wish, we are getting these 2 rotis. You can join us. We'll ask that instead of now cooking the rotis for us, just give us that flour. That amount of flour that is being used to make those 2 rotis, give us that flour. What we will do is we will dissolve that in water and we'll share that 3 ways. And that was the way that they then conducted themselves. In order to acquire ilm, they sufficed with this. At the same time, this was the extent of the generosity of their heart and the extent of their consciousness of how to try and help one another, that now the 3 of them are surviving on this, but not even anything cooked. That amount of flour is being dissolved in water, and they're sharing it between the 3 of them. But this too was something they were ready to do, because what they were acquiring, the time that was being spent and the sacrifice that was being undertaken, was for ilm. And they said this is far too precious to allow it to be lost, this opportunity to be lost. Even if you have to survive on just this much, this is well worth the while. So now they understood what the value of ilm is. So therefore the sacrifice became bearable for them. It was obviously a very great sacrifice, but it was something they were happy to undertake. The difficulty was there, but the difficulty became manageable. Why it became manageable? Like the person is going to climb the highest mountain, and the risks that come with it, and the very severe conditions that he has to bear, but because of some worldly benefit, that becomes manageable for him. He's ready to undertake it. The person understands the value of ilm, and all these things are very, very minor. The little discomforts that we have, the little bit of sacrifices that we have to make, and mainly our sacrifices are of the level where you have to just sacrifice all the desires of little extra comfort. But basics, there isn't anything short. We have more than everything that we need, but just that little extra comfort, a little extra freedom to just do what we want, and mainly the sacrifice of our haram desires, the sacrifices of things that are distracting and futile. Just that sacrifice. We're ready to make that sacrifice, and the path to ilm is wide open for us. And the road to success of the kind that people previously acquired, Allah will grant it to us on this sacrifice as well. So this is just a little bit that we have to focus our hearts and minds to get out of all these other issues, especially things that distract us. And as discussed yesterday, one of the main things in this time is this device of the phone. This is the biggest distraction. We keep out of that, and inshallah we will keep out of many other things. That itself will become the safeguard from numerous things, and that will keep us going positively forward. So to keep in mind all the time, remind ourselves, this is not an ordinary thing. Very, very great bounty and ni'mat of Allah Ta'ala, and the value of it is beyond this whole world. So the little bit of sacrifices we undertake for this is really nothing. We need to completely dedicate ourselves for this purpose and keep away from all kinds of distractions. Inshallah we'll get that noor of ilm. Allah Ta'ala give us that.
अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है, आशिकों का मीना और जाम है।